The scream sliced through the stormy night as 18-year-old Marcus Hayes saw the Audi skid and erupt into flames on the overpass ahead. A man was trapped inside, burning alive. Others stood frozen, dialing 911 tower, waiting for help. Not Marcus. He sprinted into the fire without a thought for the cash in his pocket, money meant for his grandfather's heart medication, or the shift he'd miss tomorrow. He saw someone who needed him. 30 seconds later, Marcus dragged the unconscious man from the wreckage. The car exploded behind them, a fireball illuminating the highway. What happened the next day didn't just transform Marcus's life, it reshaped his entire community. It all began with one choice to help a stranger. But who was this man? And why would saving him turn everything upside down? 24. Hours earlier, Marcus Hayes had $132 to his name. Rent was due in 4 days. In their cramped one-bedroom apartment, he counted the crumpled bills under a flickering bulb. His grandfather, Elijah, 70, sat in a threadbare recliner, checking his blood pressure with trembling hands. The monitor beeped. Too high again. "We'll get your meds today, Pops," Marcus said softly. Elijah's eyes, weathered from raising Marcus since he was 9 after his parents' fatal crash, met his. "That prescription's $360, son. We're nowhere close." Marcus stared at the 20s in his hand, not even half. This was their daily struggle. At 5 a.m., Marcus was already up, checking Elijah's vitals before the old man stirred. The numbers weren't good. He kissed Elijah's forehead and stepped into the chilly hallway. A 50-minute walk to West Cleveland High awaited. Bus fare was a luxury they couldn't afford, and their power had been cut off weeks ago. But Marcus never missed school. With a 3.8 GPA and top 8% of his class, his physics teacher, Ms. Carter, saw his potential. "You could design skyscrapers, Marcus. You're a natural." If only he could afford college apps, SAT prep, or Elijah's mounting medical bills. Still, Marcus dreamed. His walls were plastered with sketches of sustainable buildings, energy-efficient designs, and equations solving problems he'd invented. By flashlight, he crafted structures that could endure storms and cities that powered themselves. "Knowledge is the one thing they can't take," Elijah always said, echoing lessons from his days as a factory worker before heart disease forced him out. Ohio University had accepted Marcus 2 weeks prior with a partial scholarship for low-income students. The $90 application fee. He'd saved $68, but Elijah's blood pressure pills cost $32 yesterday. His college dreams faded, $32 at a time. School ended at 3:30. Marcus had 10 minutes to reach Tony's pizzeria for his dishwashing gig. Tony let him take home leftover pizza. Small mercies. 4 hours of scalding water and clanging dishes earned $28 in tips. At 7:45, he headed to Miller's Market for his bagging shift. His counselor, Ms. Jenkins, had hooked him up. 3 hours of cart pushing and loading groceries added $20. $48 for the day. Elijah's heart meds, $360. 2 weeks of work wouldn't cover it. Saturdays meant odd jobs. Ms. Carter's leaky faucet, Mr. Brooks's busted dryer, the Lopez family's flickering lights. Marcus fixed them all for free. "You can't keep working for nothing," Elijah warned, but these were his people. Ms. Carter had babysat him. Mr. Brooks gave him rides when Elijah was hospitalized. The Lopezes cheered his grades. How do you charge family? Sunday nights were toughest. Homework on the kitchen table, Elijah's bills in one pile, college pamphlets in another. The math never added up, but Marcus wasn't bitter. "Do right, and the universe keeps score," Elijah said, shaped by decades of unfair wages and broken promises. He believed goodness mattered. Marcus did too. Monday morning, Marcus hit the pharmacy before school. Lisa, the tech who'd known them forever, sighed. Corporate won't hold prescriptions past 72 hours without payment. Elijah's meds were gone. Marcus emptied his tip jar, $132. Lisa counted twice. "It's $228 short, hun. I'll hold it till tomorrow." Walking to school, Marcus carried the weight of impossible numbers. But determination burned brighter. Elijah taught him good people don't quit. They find a way. The stormy night. That night, Cleveland faced its worst storm in years. Rain pounded like gunfire, winds bent streetlights, and the temperature plummeted. At 10:52 p.m., Marcus clocked out at Tony's. His hands were raw from soap and steam. Tony handed him leftover lasagna and a $25 tip from a kind table. "Take it, kid, you earn it." Marcus refused a ride home. Tony had done enough. The soup would feed them for days. The bus had stopped running. A 50-minute walk through dangerous streets lay ahead, but Elijah needed his 11:30 p.m. meds. Marcus tightened his soaked hoodie and started moving. Rain drenched him instantly, his worn sneakers squelching. He thought of the pharmacy, Lisa's sad eyes, the $228 gap. Tomorrow, he'd face Elijah with no answers. He thought of Ohio University, the $90 fee he couldn't pay, the building designs on his wall, dreams likely to stay pencil sketches. Crossing the Maple Avenue overpass, visibility was near zero. Rain hammered the pavement, streetlights flickered, and the highway below was a void. Then came the sound. Tires screeching, metal crunching. 50 yards ahead, an Audi hydroplaned, smashed the guardrail and flipped. Sparks flew as it slid toward the edge. Flames erupted from the engine, growing fast. Gasoline fumes stung the air. Through the cracked windshield, Marcus saw him. An older white man in a tailored suit, upside down, seatbelt cutting into him. Blood streaked his face. Their eyes locked through smoke and rain. "Help!" the man croaked. 2 cars stopped. A blue sedan and a grey SUV. Their drivers called 911 but stayed back. "Kid, don't, it'll blow," the SUV driver shouted. Marcus dialed 911. "ETA 18:22 minutes, the operator said, voice strained from storm-related calls. 18 minutes. Flames were already inside the car. The man coughed, eyes pleading. Marcus thought of Elijah waiting, his meds. What would happen if he didn't come home? He thought of the $132 in his pocket. Not enough for meds, but enough to matter. He thought of his designs, the physics of force and leverage. Structures held or failed. People did too. The flames roared. The man had seconds. Marcus made his choice. He ran into the fire. Marcus knew what to do, though he'd never saved a life. Heat slammed him, searing his lungs. The Audi lay on its side, flames climbing. The driver's door was unreachable. Marcus crawled to the passenger side, glass crunching underfoot. The man hung upside down, face flushed from blood rush. "Sir, can you hear me?" Marcus shouted. "Yes. Seatbelt stuck," the man gasped. Marcus grabbed a toolkit from the glove box. "I'm Marcus. What's your name?" "Charles. Charles Bennett." "We're getting you out, Mr. Bennett." The seatbelt was jammed. Marcus sawed with a screwdriver, hands shaking. Sweat stung his eyes. "How old are you, son?" Charles asked, voice faint. 18. 18? Charles coughed. "I thought I was untouchable at 18. The belt snapped. Charles fell to the car's ceiling, groaning but free. His legs were pinned under the crushed dashboard. Marcus saw the physics, leverage, fulcrum, force redirection. "Mr. Bennett, on 3, push up, I'll pull. It'll explode. We've got this." Marcus gripped the steering wheel, calculating angles. 1, 2, 3. Charles pushed. Marcus pulled, shifting the wheel 3 inches. Charles's legs freed. Marcus dragged him to the shattered window, pushing him out first, then crawling after. They collapsed on the wet pavement, gasping. 15 seconds later, the Audi exploded, a fireball singeing their hair. Sirens wailed closer. A paramedic arrived. "Name?" she asked Marcus, checking his vitals. "Marcus Hayes." "You saved a life, Marcus." She bandaged his hands. 2nd-degree burns from hot metal, cuts from glass, smoke-scarred lungs. Charles, on a stretcher with an oxygen mask, pulled it aside. "How do I repay you?" Marcus looked at the man. Expensive suit, gold watch, a world apart from his own. "You don't, sir. I did what anyone would." But Marcus knew the truth. Anyone would call 911. Not everyone would run into flames. Marcus sat as a nurse bandaged his hands. 2nd-degree burns, Dr. Patel said. "No work for 10 days. Keep them dry." 10 days. No dishwashing, no bagging, no odd jobs. No income when Elijah needed it most. Doctor, I have to work. My grandfather... Infection risks are serious. You'll be out longer if you push it. Charles, getting stitches nearby, approached. How are the hands? They'll heal. Marcus flexed his bandaged fingers, wincing. Charles pulled out a Prada wallet, offering $5 or $100 bills. Please, you're hurt because of me. 500. Enough for Elijah's meds, rent, a month's breathing room. I can't, sir, Elijah's voice echoed. We earn what we get, no handouts. This isn't charity. You saved my life. My grandfather says if you do right, it comes back. Marcus pocketed a business card instead. Charles Bennett, CEO, with a stylized B logo. Charles made a call as they left. Marcus overheard. The kid who saved me, Marcus Hayes, dig into his background. A black Mercedes pulled up, Bennett Corp on the plates. Charles rolled down the window. Call if you need anything, Marcus. Walking to the bus, Marcus felt the sting of missed chances. His hands throbbed. A week without work meant no money for Elijah's meds. He called Tony. Your job's safe, kid, Tony said, but no pay for no work. At 2:30 a.m., Marcus found Elijah asleep, blood pressure monitor showing dangerous numbers. He'd missed the evening dose. Staring at Charles's card, Marcus felt torn. One call could fix everything. But Elijah taught him some things mattered more than money. The morning after, Marcus woke aching, throat raw, hands burning. Elijah's vitals were worse, no meds for days. They had hours before an ER trip. At the newsstand, a headline stopped him. Teen hero saves business tycoon in blaze. A blurry photo showed the burning Audi. The article called the rescued man a key figure in Ohio's economy. At school, Ms. Jenkins pulled him aside. Someone called about your records, grades, college plans, character, very discreet. Ms. Carter stopped him in the hall. A full-ride engineering scholarship just opened, deadlines today. It's for students like you. By lunch, Marcus was dizzy from smoke inhalation. The nurse urged rest, but he had a physics test and no work thanks to his hands. Walking home, he saw surveyors measuring vacant lots, a woman photographing the community center, news vans on his street. Ms. Carter from the corner store waved him down. A suit asked about you, your work ethic, trustworthiness. At home, Elijah was fading, blood pressure critical. Marcus called Charles's number. Voicemail. Bennett Corp offices closed for meetings. Wednesday morning, Elijah collapsed. Marcus found him on the floor, breathing shallow, skin clammy. Blood pressure, 180, 110. Normal was 120/80. He was dying. Marcus had $132 plus $19 in change, $209 short. He'd called Charles 20 times. Nothing. The news hailed him a hero, but heroes didn't watch their grandfathers die. At the pharmacy, Lisa whispered, I'll call your doctor for a payment plan. No options left. Marcus's phone rang. Marcus Hayes. Hold for Mr. Bennett. Marcus, I'm sorry, Charles said. Board meetings kept me tied up. I heard about your grandfather. I'm sending a medical transport. Bring him. Meet me in 1 hour. The truth revealed. A private ambulance arrived with Dr. Emily Grant, who stabilized Elijah with emergency meds. In their apartment, Charles sat with Marcus. How is he? Better, thanks to you. But who are you? Charles showed a tablet. Bennett Corp CEO survives crash. Photos of factories, awards, Charles at conferences. I'm Charles Bennett, CEO of Bennett Corp, $15 billion in electric vehicle manufacturing, 60,000 employees. My net worth's $4.1 billion, asked Marcus blinked. You were in our neighborhood. I've been scouting East Cleveland for a $900 million plant, 6,000 direct jobs, 18,000 indirect. Your area's perfect. 3 nights ago, I was surveying when I crashed. Charles revealed renderings, a massive complex, training centers, health clinics. I don't just build factories, I build communities, but I invest in people worth believing in. Your teachers, neighbors, bosses, all raved about you. Ms. Jenkins said you tutor for free. Tony called you his best worker. Mr. Brooks said you fix everything on the block. Dr. Grant reported Elijah was stable. Charles continued, "You didn't just save my life. You proved this community's worth investing in." The offer. In Charles's downtown office, Elijah sipped tea, marveling at city views. Charles apologized for the delay. "I wanted to offer something real, not just cash." He presented a folder. West Cleveland Project, personal support, full medical coverage for Elijah, $6,000 immediate aid, MIT full-ride scholarship, mechanical engineering, $2,500 monthly stipend, guaranteed Bennett Corp internship, $100,000 starting salary post-graduation. Community plan, $900 million a plant, 6,000 jobs at 24-hour. Bennett Tech Institute, free training, community health center, small business incubator. Marcus would be a community development consultant, ensuring local hiring, training, and business contracts. Timeline, 6 months for site prep, 18 for construction, 36 for opening. "What about displacement?" Marcus asked. Charles showed rent stabilization, $15 million in local contracts, a community profit-sharing fund. "This grows with your people, not over them." Elijah spoke. "Can you promise this helps our community?" "My reputation's on the line, Mr. Hayes. If it fails your people, it fails me." Marcus shook Charles's hand. "Deal. We do this right." 6 months later, Marcus started at MIT, excelling in engineering. Weekends, he returned to a transforming neighborhood. Elijah, with proper care, worked as a health advocate. Their new apartment had power and heat. National media called it the Cleveland Revival. Challenges, noise, bureaucracy were met with transparency. 2 years later, Marcus, now 20, drove his electric car past the same overpass. A food truck burned. A teen girl, Elena Ruiz, 16, helped an elderly man escape. Marcus approached. "You saved him." "I saw him struggling," Elena said. "I want to be an electrical engineer, but college—" Marcus handed her his card. "Community Development, Bennett Corp. We have scholarships. You're exactly who we need." At the plant's grand opening, 2,500 workers started shifts. Elijah, Eleanor, and Charles stood with Marcus. "I thought I was building a factory," Charles said. "We built hope." Elijah smiled. "One good deed doesn't make ripples, son. It makes waves."